Oh, your goatness. Your goatness. Come sit next to me, Ghost. Come sit next to me. You didn't miss a shot in the first half.
I don't remember I did. You capping like crazy. I didn't miss a free throw.
I sold on the free throw.
Okay, everybody, we've got Tristan DeSilva, KJ Simpson. We'll go ahead and open up the questions.
For either of you guys, I mean, just without being shorthanded once again, it's kind of been the story of the season, but for both of you guys to play the way you did, combining for 49 points, you guys each, one of you guys did 18 in each half. I mean, how important was it for both of you guys to kind of assert yourselves at the beginning of kind of each half of the game?
It was important. Obviously, you know, with a couple of guys down, we knew, you know, as leaders, we wanted to pick it up and have our play and go out there and, you know, exemplify it out there on the court. You know, Tristan started off really good in the first half, and so I knew I needed to pick it up. That's why I kind of got it going in the second half. But, you know, with guys down, it's just you have to rise to the level of play. And it wasn't just us tonight. I mean, the whole team, they did great things out there.
KJ, you mentioned the other day when we were talking about the UCLA game, how they kind of took you out of it. It looked like that was Cal's game plan earlier in the first half. I mean, did that UCLA game, and did you learn from that as trying to work your way into the game and trying to assert yourself more?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just watching film, like I said before, I didn't want to force bad shots. But at the same time, I knew I wasn't being aggressive at UCLA. And so same thing here, you know, Tristan had the hot hand early. And, you know, it's my job as the point guard to feed the hot hand. And so was just trying to, you know, distribute more than or just get the best shot for the team. And sometimes that's not me taking it, you know. And in the second half, things started to open up more and, you know, just playing with more patience and more calmness and letting things go, letting the flow of our offense go, then stuff started to open up.
Tristan, you kind of sparked that 8-0 run in the first half after they went up 6-2. How big of a lift is that for you to get both yourself and your teammates involved right off the bat?
Yeah, I mean, definitely huge. Just because I know I've been struggling the past couple games being efficient. So it was good. I was just trying to be aggressive, get to the rim, give myself some easy ones. And as KJ said, you know, he was feeding me the ball. And you know, playing with a guy like that it makes it pretty easy.
Y'all remember the last time y'all played Cal? They came back big time. Y'all feel a little bit of pressure coming out in the second half when they started battling back on offense?
Not pressure. They're a good team. You know, they're eventually, you know, they're going to get shots to fall. I mean, Tyson came out aggressive, you know, and he's a great player. And they have great players over there at Cal and a great coaching staff. So we knew that they were going to make their run. But, you know, going in at halftime, we did talk, and that was our main focus of, you know, remembering of what happened last game and coming out and kind of preventing that from happening again. Like I said, we knew they were going to make a run, but when they had their run, we just wanted to keep playing and, you know, keep our composure, and we was able to do that.
What do you think the biggest differences were between stopping this run and stopping the run earlier in the year?
I think a lot of it was dictated because the first time we played them, we had a lot more turnovers, and it's hard, you know, to play defense when you're turning over the ball. Shots weren't falling, you know, and they hit 14 threes the first game, and so those are just major differences, you know, compared to this game. You know, we took care of the ball a lot better. We were more composed on offense, and then our defense has also gotten better since that point.
KJ, it felt like the not the turning point, but the big sequence in the second half was when you hit the free throws and got the steal and then got the ball to Ruff for the three. Can you speak to what it was like for you guys to see him play so well in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, Ruff came in, like I said, with guys down, you know, we all rose to the level of play, and Ruff was one of those guys. He came in ready and contributed right away, and that just goes to show you, you know, anybody with a Colorado jersey is more than capable. But yeah, credit to him. He came in ready to play, knocked down some big shots, and guarded, got some great rebounds for us. So it felt good, you know, to have him out there and, you know, be able to see him make big plays for us.
For either of you guys, Cal didn't shoot well in the first half, just 33%, but they had 6 3-pointers. Second half, they shot better, but you really took away the 3-pointers. So how much did you guys talk about at halftime, maybe limiting those looks from long range?
Yeah, that's huge. That's what kind of broke the game open for them at their place. So obviously they got, great shooters all around. So we had to make sure that we take those away, especially the easy looks. Yeah, that was kind of the focus for us coming out of halftime.
Tristan Hassan had 7 rebounds in, I think, 12 minutes. I mean, how much have you seen him grow? It seems like he's really starting to give you guys some quality minutes when he's coming out.
Yeah, I think he's gotten way more comfortable out there on the floor, way more confident. And, if you see what he does in practice, you wouldn't be surprised at all. So, credit to him for the work that he puts in. And, he's really eager to learn. He's really eager to get better. I see him in the gym every day, working on his game. So, he's a great talent for sure.
Tristan, I asked you a little bit about this last week, but last home game coming up on Sunday, what are maybe some of the emotions you're facing kind of going into the last one here?
What was the question?
What are some of the emotions going into the last home game?
Honestly, I'm in disbelief, to be honest. I don't know what to say. Every time I think about it, I just go blank. So obviously I'm super grateful for the whole 4 years that I've been here, for the people that I got to know, for the families, the brotherhood that I got to know here.
Anything else?
Yeah. Damn.
You talked about composure
Yeah.
a little bit. How do you do that when now we're getting to kind of crunch time and you're marching a couple days now? The whole first floor, last floor, all that stuff. Like, You don't look for it, but
Exactly,
you got friends and classes, they're going to tell you. Like, you're there, this is bubble all the way through.
No, yeah.
Kind of keep that compartmentalized.
Yeah, I mean, we all talk about it, as a team. And obviously, like I said, I think the last time I spoke was we're not oblivious to it. We see it, it's everywhere. Social media is everywhere. We're bound to see it. But I think our main focus is understanding that we have to focus on the next opponent. That's our main priority. And as long as we take care of it one by one, things will take care of itself down the road. So that's kind of what's helped us, along this way, understanding, the opportunities that we have, and coming down in crunch time. But we just have to take it one game at a time.
Was tonight a statement, given being shorthanded, to say, without a starter, we can do this? Yeah,
most definitely. I feel like, that's kind of been the thing throughout this whole season. Had a couple guys go down, injuries hit us, and, a lot of guys on this team have stepped up, and, it just was another game like that for us tonight.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Anything else?
Okay, everybody. Head Coach Tad Boyle. You can please start with an opening statement. We'll open up for questions.
Another good win at home against a really, I think Cal's, they're good. They're so much better to me than their record. Offensively, they they've got good players. They run good stuff. They're well coached. That was a good win, and they've been in a lot of games this year. We talked at halftime about the game at Berkeley. We're up 14 at half, and as I walk off the floor, I look up. Oh, it's a 14-point game again. I got to remind them of that, and we talked about it. They came out of the second half, and I think they scored 11 of their first 13 possessions of the second half, which not too proud of that. 3 of the first 4 were dunks. So once our guys locked in defensively, we got some stops and extended a lead and then finished it off strong. So really good game, some good individual performances, and collectively, again, 18 assists. We had 12 turnovers, but 2 of those were shot clock violations at the end, so we really had 10. Those last 2 were on me, so really good there too. And I think we can keep being better in that area, but good win.
Tristan had 18 first half.
Yeah.
How nice was it to see him so aggressive? He's not just scoring, but also distributing the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he had 6 assists, and he was great. He was aggressive tonight, which we want him to be. He was had 13 shots, 22 points. He was very efficient. Got to the foul line. So yeah, Tristan was terrific tonight, and we need him to be, especially with being shorthanded with Cody and Julian out. The guys that are playing, that are in that rotation, are so critical. Because I thought our Ruff coming off the bench was really good tonight, and Hassan, his minutes were good tonight. And I'm telling you, Bangat Dak is a guy I have not given up on him. There might be a time coming on a stretch where we need a guy like him as well. So, yeah, good team victory, but Tristan was terrific.
You mentioned Javon Ruff, and what can it do for this team if you get him going a little bit here?
Yeah, I mean, making open shots is something that Javon's really good at, and he proved it tonight, and he didn't hesitate, and our guys looked. I thought Javon Hadley finding him and didn't hesitate, just kicked it out and made the right play, and then that gave him a little confidence. He made the next one, and wasn't sure how long Luke was going to be out, but Ruff was playing so good, I just stuck with him for a while, and then Luke came back and then cramped up, and the Ruff and came back.
You mentioned Hassan. He had 7 rebounds in 12 minutes. It just feels like you can see the growth, especially over the last 2-3 weeks, that he's giving you positive minutes.
He really is. He really is. It's almost March now, right? So these freshmen aren't freshmen anymore, especially the ones that have been playing. The ones that haven't been playing, they still are. But Hassan's he's starting to understand, and if he just defends and rebounds and makes simple plays, that's all he's got to do. He doesn't have to be a playmaker for us. He just has to be a finisher around the rim and a defensive presence and rebound.
KJ said that it was limiting the turnovers this time as opposed to what they weren't able to do last time to stop that Cal run. What did you see?
I think that was a big part of it. I thought that was a big part of it. I thought offensively we were efficient pretty much the whole night. He shot 50% from the field, and KJ was terrific down the stretch, and you look at his line and you're just like, this guy's just, every game I think Mark Johnson told me the last few games he's averaging 28 points and 7 rebounds and 5 assists. Again, I've said it before, there's All-American numbers, and he's bringing it every night. So his defensive job tonight on Jalen Cone, holding him to 1 for 10 from the field. Cone had 17 in Berkeley. And I thought, not many times do you talk about a guy that had 25 and feel like your guy did a good job. But I thought Javon Hadley, his effort and making Jordan Tyson work for everything that he got, catching the ball and his getting through screens, he did a great job on Tyson and made him work for everything he got. He had 25 points. He's a hell of a player, but he took him 19 shots to get him. So I was really pleased with those 2 individual performances defensively. And then Eddie Lampkin, to me, had his best ball screen defensive game, of the year. He was really good in terms of clogging up that lane and not letting those Tyson and Cone get downhill. So really good team effort.
Guys said they talk about the whole first 4, last 4, the dance, you've done it enough times down the stretch. How do you handle that with this group, or do you let them decide whether they care about that?
Look, do they care? Hell yeah, they care. I don't talk about it one bit. I've not brought it up one time. The only time I do is when I'm answering your guys' questions. But that is the last thing that I'm thinking about. We got to win the next game. I have said that our margin for error is behind us. Our margin for error was in Berkeley, and we tricked it off. Our margin for error was in Tempe. We tricked it off. Our margin for error was in Utah. We tricked it off. Our margin for error was Florida State in November. If we don't trick those games off, now we're a team that has a margin for error as we head down the stretch. But we're not in that position. So that's all I talk about is trying to win the next game. And these guys, look, we're in the age where they got their phones and they can see everything. I'm not naive. I'm just not talking about it.
Tad, you talked about KJ. It felt like their run in the second half ended with his stretch where he gets to the line and then he gets the steal
Yes.
and hits Ruff.
Yeah, that steal was big. And he got the steal and then he hit Hadley and Hadley hit Ruff, I think. But that was big time by KJ, big time play. And you're right, that broke the game open a little bit and gave us some breathing room.
It feels like he has such a great sense for when you guys need him to really make something happen. How much of a kind of safety valve is that for the rest of the team, knowing that he's able to?
Yeah, look, I mean,
turn it up
the guys rely on KJ. I rely on KJ. So coming out of halftime, he turned it over OB under, and then he took a bad shot and it got blocked, and I was like, oh my God, that's not the KJ we needed. But then as that second half unfolded, he made plays, and look, as a coach, sometimes you got to take the good with the bad, and what that kid has done, for this team and this program, and to put us in this position. That's 19 wins. You look around the country, lots of teams are losing. Lots of teams are losing. You look at records. You look at, it's hard to win right now. And so every win like this, you got to relish. And then guess what? We got Stanford on Sunday. That's going to be a critical, critical game for this team and this program where we are. And then we go finish our season on the road in Oregon. So.
Update on the prognosis for Williams and
No
Julian
prognosis. You know as much as I do, Pat. And I won't. Huh? Maybe you might have a point there, but no. No, I think we'll see. We're going to take tomorrow off. It's kind of nice having Wednesday, Sunday, because you got to take some time off, especially this time of year. So we'll take tomorrow off. Friday, get a better feel from our trainer, and they'll be getting treatment, he and Julian both, and hopefully we can get them back as soon as possible. But I have no idea if that'll be Sunday or not.
Just one last quick thing on
Yeah.
Tristan. It just feels like when he had the ankle injury earlier,
Yeah.
the impact of play, it just seemed like it took him a little bit to maybe come back from something like that. But do you
No
feel like
question.
now he's fully back to
Yeah, he is. Now that thing's wrapped, it's braced, it's not 100%, but it's getting closer. And, he had the same ankle injury last spring when he was preparing for the NBA workouts. So it's not something new, but when I look at this team, and I got to talk about it after wins, because I sure as hell am not going to talk about it after losses. But when I look at this team, and I mentioned that Arizona State game at Arizona State, Tristan played, he had 17 points, but he was playing on one leg. He was probably 50% that night, but he gutted it out, and he came back probably, I leave it up to these kids with these ankle injuries, but Luke's had an ankle injury, Cody's got one now, we've had a couple facial fractures, what this team has gone through in terms, because now it's 15 out of 28? 14 out of 28 now. We've been without one or two of our top 7 guys. To do that and to persevere and to keep fighting, we've lost some games we shouldn't have lost, but then I look at Tristan at Arizona State playing on one leg, and I'm like, well, dang, we were right there. It's not like we've been getting blown out. Other than the Arizona games, we've been fighting tooth and nail. And this team's competitive, and it's too early to talk about postseason. We got a lot of basketball ahead of us before we do that. But Tristan being healthy, KJ being healthy, Javon Hadley, Eddie back, Luke, those other 2 guys get back, and we can have a lot of fun coming down the stretch. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.